Hey guys, it's Sam. I can't believe I'm like back here thinking through all of this. I thought I was in such a good place. Okay, this is probably planner boredom. Is that what it is? I've been thinking about this for the last few weeks, enjoying being in my Hobonichi weeks, knowing that it has everything I need, happy with finding a pen that works. If you've missed it, I've been using the Pentel Calm pens, and those are working great. It's not as good for me, but the 0.7 Jetstream I've also been able to make friends with since moving to the Calm. Yeah, so this should be super easy, right? And I think that part of it might just be fueled with my discontent and irritation over the Hobonichi Weeks offerings this year, which I guess doesn't seem fair to them. And also, I understand can be easily remedied by putting stuff underneath a cover to cover it up. But I guess little things sometimes bother me more than they should. And that, I think, was the catalyst for feeling like the planner unrest or whatever you want to call it. But I think it might be boredom. What happens is I either say that I am or I'm not going to buy a Hobonichi for the coming year. And even if I say that I'm not going to buy it, I end up buying one. And I usually get really excited about it. I get really excited about like setting this spread up specifically. I like building my pages in the back, and I just get excited. And what usually happens is I do all of that a little too soon, change my mind about something, and end up having to completely overhaul it or redo it or take everything out and start over again. And what has happened this year instead is that my Hobonichi has sat on the shelf and I haven't even felt like starting it. I feel like this year I have collected so many things for my Hobonichi, and I was like laying it all out and I was getting ready, and I had this video planned for how I was choosing what and how I was setting it up. And as time has gone on, even for me, who I don't start my Hobonichi until the beginning of the year, most years, even me, it's not yet time to use the planner in my head. I usually want to have it set up and ready by now, and I've had like no inclination at all to do so. So after ordering quite a few Hobonichis, this year I ended up on the tropical yellow, which I am a yellow fan. I'm a mustard yellow fan. And this is, it's not my best yellow, but I was like, well, it's the one that offends me the least. And so I sold the others. And although I've like shown it in reels or whatever in videos like this, I have not written one single thing in that planner. And then I was like, okay, maybe it's the color. And I know that you can cover it up, and that seems like a really simple fix, but for me, I just don't want to. Part of the lore of the Hobonichi Weeks is that you get to see the planner as it is. And so I don't really want to have to just go around covering it up with wrapping paper or whatever. And then I thought that I would just go back to the regular weeks because this cover is beautiful. If I stuck with this, I'd be able to use the beautiful Janet Leather brown Vanderspec that I have without worrying about the fact that the clear cover doesn't work with it. But then I worry that this is not enough note pages in the back. In theory, it is, and I won't use them all. But that brings up like another problem that isn't really a problem, but it's one of the things that gets to me. And it like came to me today when I was out with my husband, and I was carrying very little. We were running a few errands. We're coming up on Christmas. It's less than a month away. We had Metallica tickets releasing today, and I had a lot of things that I like wanted to like scratch right down, but I didn't want to write them all in the back of here. Like I needed a stupid running to-do list for the day, and it needed like, I needed mascara and eyeliner and deodorant, and I wanted to make notes about, then we still need to look into the hotel. And I was like, everything was very frantic and quick, and we were sitting at, a table having just eaten lunch, and there were, it's not the place that you want to like sit down and tidily plan. And I was like, this is just ridiculous because yes, I have Post-its and such, but it was like not going to be enough space. And I just needed to like vomit all of these things out on a piece of paper and be able to just kind of scratch everything down in a very sloppy way. And instead, I lost some of the things that I wanted to do because of this permanence of book. And I think that this is like the eternal struggle with me with the Hobonichi Weeks. You can put everything in this book, but then everything is permanent. And I'm very stubborn about, not wanting to carry little extra books to make up that place where I don't feel comfortable just writing everything down all the time. And I feel like I have just completely stalled in making a decision this year. And that tells me something about my planning for 2023. It either means that the Hobonichi Weeks is going to have to change and I'm going to have to just make it my like memory keeping book, or it means that I need to move on and try something else. So either it's boredom, or I feel like it doesn't fit, what I need right now. Or is there a third thing? I don't even know. All of this just coming out of my head. And so I just wanted to show a couple of things that I'm like thinking about. This is how bad it is. So I ordered all of the different like Hobonichi dupes or whatever. I have more coming. I have another size coming that I've ordered, which hasn't shipped yet, I don't think, which is kind of frustrating, because when you're like going through this, you want to like get into it all, and then you want to make your decisions and you want it behind you, because we're coming up on December and I want to know what I'm doing this year, So yeah, so I have this that I could choose from. I have the yellow, which at this point I think I'll probably try to sell, because I just don't want multiple yellows in multiple years, and I've already had a yellow. And then I got the happiness pink one again, for really dumb reasons. I didn't want yellow, and I like that this has gold instead of silver. So yeah, now I have like 4 Hobonichi Weeks still here that I could use, and I'm not inclined to use any of them for the year. Meanwhile, still perfectly content planning in this. I think I really want this to be the place where I come back, and even if it's every day, like, since I'm not a journaler really, maybe this is the spot where I come back and I, at the end of the day, fill it in with what I did. Like, filling in those little bits of planning memories might be what journaling needs to be for me. And if I think about this as my journal instead of just like a second planner that I feel like I need to have on my to-do list, maybe that would bring me more joy. I don't know. So for now, I'm like, I don't know. I a couple of weeks ago, I was like so ready, and I was gonna be like that girl, and I was gonna be like, this is my planner stack for 2023, and I was just gonna be like, boom, that's it. See, all in one book. And now I'm like, this is what you get. This is what you deserve for being like, look at me, I only have one thing. And now I'm like, I don't even know. This is what I have right now. Absolutely nothing. This is my plan. This is my plan for 2023. So I have a couple contenders. I mean, obviously, I have 35 Hobonichi Weeks. Not really. I have 4. I have this one and the rabbit one that was messed up. But it still could be used as a planner. So I could use any number of Hobonichi Weeks to plan in for next year. I sold my cousin. I sold my A6, so those are out. Although I saw that they have the new A6 that released, and I forgot to look into buying that because I didn't write it down. I also have these 2 Moleskine planners. Both of these are weekly, both of these same. I liked that this year, the soft cover, they have the 2023 like in it, like blind embossed. And then this one, How Could I Resist? This one with the rabbit from Alice in Wonderland. And I love this paper. I love that you don't have to worry about what kind of pen you're writing in with it. I don't like the split here because there's no room to write anything. And I could go through and redate it, but I don't want to. And then the monthlies are very difficult for me because I don't have naturally small handwriting to cram whatever I need to say in there. So this is like for when I want to run out and run around with like a long to-do list or whatever, and don't want to carry like a larger purse. This is perfect for that. But I have struggled to make this like my only planner. I know that some people do, and kudos to you because I love these things. I absolutely love them. Then I thought again about doing a daily, which I had a really busy day recently, and I made a daily. Oh yeah, for Thanksgiving. It was busy. And so I used that for Thanksgiving, and I was like, oh, this is beautiful. This is perfect. This is what I want to use. And then I couldn't find any on Amazon, which is maybe a blessing because I would have ordered a third Moleskine for the year. They have larger versions, and I could easily go through and redo, like, I would be willing to go through and use printables and put in month on 2 pages to kind of help that situation, because now I don't have a whole lot that goes on Sunday except for church, which if it was in a pinch and we had something going on a Sunday, I wouldn't have to write church in because I still know that I'm going to go to church. So this still could be used, and I love this little thing. Love this little thing. And then I did it to myself. I did it. I was sitting at my desk the other night pouting about my planner situation and sad that other people seem to be so happy with what they're doing and I can't seem to get my life figured out, when I looked over and I saw this. So this year, the Travelers Company, which I've never been like a TN like lover, the strings has just not been my best friend. I've tried. I specifically really like the pocket size, but just couldn't ever make it work. But I bought this because it was, part of that cool release for this year. And we're really into music at my house. And we have a record player and a collection, and we're all very musical. And when I saw this release, I was like, well, it doesn't even matter if I'm not going to use this. I just want to have it because it's really pretty. It has this little record thing that spins around, and I really like it. So I bought it. And my intention was to use it to document when we go buy records, which can sometimes be pretty, often. We like to go find new record stores. We have a certain place locally near us that usually has a really good selection. And that's where we spend our extra money generally. But I don't like paper that doesn't have any kind of grid or lines. And so I haven't been really excited about using it. So here it has sat at my desk in the bag. And so what I did was I was like, pocket size is pretty small, especially for rings, unless you're making pocket plus. And then I was looking at this planner, which I love so much, and it's like usable space. And I was like, the passport size is not that much smaller. And I've been fitting mostly what I need to on a week with that usable space, since this one doesn't have anything at the top here. And I was like, what if I spent a bunch of money on Passport Traveler's notebook stuff? So I have sometimes a difficult time telling myself no. And so I didn't. So this arrived from JetPens yesterday, actually, and I've been really busy and tired, and I decided I wanted to do this with you guys, and so I didn't open it or anything. And sometimes these are packaged too well. So I was kind of unsure about what all to get. I did just know that I didn't want to overdo it and buy all of the things. So this is what I chose. And I don't even know if this is going to work. This might be a complete fail. But I decided maybe just give it a try. So I decided to go ahead and get, and it's so difficult because there's some things that I really want that are out of stock right now, and that's frustrating. But I like the Travelers Company, and how they do things for the year is very similar to how Hobonichi does things, and it just makes it feel special. So what I landed on here was a monthly, because I know I can't live without a monthly. And these boxes aren't too bad. Obviously a lot more room to play with because it's a month on 2 than the Moleskine. And they're not very thick, the books themselves, which is great because bulk. So a monthly is definitely needed. Oh, and does this have, so it has the year at a glance for 2023 and 24. this is where I would track my cycle, intimacy, stuff like that, and then the months. So that's one of the things I didn't want to lose. Whatever system I move into, I now know I have to have a couple of things to survive. And that is the yearly view that you can see at one glance, because I do use that so much for health tracking purposes, and then a monthly view I have to have, and then I personally have to have a weekly. Sometimes I need a daily, but it's not often, and if needed, I don't have to use an actual daily insert. If I had a very busy day, I could just use any kind of grid. So this one also has this at the front, I believe. Blank pages there. Oh, a different one. Ooh, I think I like this one better because this is kind of the view that I'm used to. So this is, you'd have to fill in your own months. I don't know. I guess I could use both and decide which one I liked best. So it's 6 months at a glance. And then I decided on the undated, even though I'm not really the biggest fan of an undated, because the dated has like a month here and then this is filled in for you. And so I feel like this doesn't have a lot of like planning space, and that this, if it was blank, at least gives me somewhere to write a running to do. As much as I've thought about it though since I ordered it, I don't know that this is like the right thing for me, because I really do like having the whole like Hobonichi layout, which is what I was using even when I was in rings, specifically personal rings. So I like having the ability of just the week on this side and to put like what you're doing specifically on date specific tasks, appointment and such. And then the whole right hand side of the page to just do whatever you want and change it from week to week. And so I don't know if this is going to work for me, but I like the paper, and I just thought maybe a change was in order. And even if this doesn't turn into like the one, I do really like the idea of traveling with a traveler's notebook. So I got the, let's see, monthly, the undated, weekly, and then I just got the grid. And so I figured that could just be like my running to do brain dump. The grids are bigger than a Hobonichi Weeks, which I like. This is white instead of cream. Not sure why. Yeah, so this is, what's the 5 by 5 millimeter. So yeah, quite a bit bigger than the Hobonichi Weeks, which is important to me because I don't like to scrunch my handwriting up. But I just think that these are like so romantic, and I wanted to have them. So I got this, and then I got this little folder, and I also wanted the like plastic board, the pencil board, whatever it's called. Couldn't find it in stock anywhere. And not sure how do you put the string through there? Not sure how that works, but it's like this year's thing. So I wanted to add it to my collection. And then because these are difficult to keep open, I also got the airplane brass clip. So I don't know. I also don't like it to be like clunky, chunky. So with three inserts wouldn't be horrible, right? That wouldn't be bad. I just don't know that it would work as like the planner for me, because I don't know that I like the idea of like writing on the books. So we'll see. I mean, it's small, it's fun, and I like stationery, so it didn't hurt me to buy it. It never hurts me to buy stationery. And then I just added a couple of pens to my order, this Jetstream and this olive green. It's 3 color. It's a little bit thicker of a pen, so the bad pen loops that don't hold like any pen, obviously not going to work with this pen. And then I got another Calm. I have black that I added to my collection, And yeah, so that was my purchase from Jet Pens that was supposed to make this whole thing more clear. I always think that, well, if I just get this in, then that will all be clear. And then today when I was like having my little breakdown at the little sandwich shop that my husband and I were at, I was like, you know what would be great to have right now? Just a bunch of dumb papers for personal rings. And I would just have like this whole long page to dump out all of my thoughts. I don't know what's wrong with me. I mean, even my tiniest bag that I like to carry around from Portland Leather, this little mini doodad, personal fits just fine in there. Fits just fine. So I don't know what my problem is. I don't want to do rings. Just the thought of printing out printables and hole punching and cutting and all of that makes me feel like committing violence. But the idea of having sat at that restaurant today and being able to just pull out a bunch of paper and being like, hey babe, you start scratching down on this piece of paper and I'll start scratching down on this piece of paper and we'll get all of our great ideas out there. And then not to have to commit to them, to just be able to sloppy write something when we were out and then, you know, bring it into a more like neat form somewhere else. I was all about it at that moment. And I also love my pocket rings, but the paper's not that big. So, oh, I hope you're better off than I am right now. Would this pen even fit in the Malden pen loop? I hate this pen loop so much. Malden, please. Filofax, do better. See, this immediately makes me sad. So as much as I love this, there's always something, you know, there's always something. I could, nope, that's not going to work. Forget it. Okay. So my planner stack for 2023, I don't know what this video is. Planner boredom, what's happening? I hope that you're in a better place than I am. Let me know if you have any thoughts. I'm not going to make a firm decision right now because I have 2 more planners. 3, I had an email that I had a pre-order on the way for something that I completely forgot that I ordered. So I currently have 3 planners on the way to me right now, except for the one I don't think is shipped. And I hope they get on the ball because I want to have this in my hand and see if it helps. It's probably going to make things worse, right? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for listening to this planner rant by Sam. Yeah, thanks for being here. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if this emotionally unstable video hasn't scared you away and you want to see more, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that you can see what's coming next. Thanks so much as always for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye guys.